Hey everyone, welcome back to Bottled Up. I'm your host, Andrew Allen. First off, a huge thank you for being here for our 50th episode. We couldn't have made it this far without all of you. Today, I'm joined by Will Sams, owner and head chef of Pearl Restaurant in Fairhope, Alabama. With over 20 years in the game, Will's gone from flipping sandwiches to training at the Culinary Institute of America in New York, then building one of the Gulf's most beloved seafood spots. In this episode, we talk about the wild chaos of opening a restaurant, the secrets behind a killer menu, how he sources the best local seafood, and what it really takes to keep a tight, thriving team in a small town scene. If you've ever dreamed of opening your own place, or just love a great underdog story, you're going to love this one. Plenty of insights, laughs, and hard-earned wisdom coming your way. Welcome to the show, Will.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For the listener, I have known our guest probably 35 years, and we have a lot of history together. He's been in the restaurant business for how long now, William?
Over 20 years now.
It's crazy. So over 20 years, you've been in the restaurant game, all aspects of it, starting from training to now actually owning and operating a spot over in Fairhope. So I want to kind of get into a couple of things before we start. Everyone who knows you knows where you grew up, knows your history. A lot of the people who are going to be listening to this are probably going to be listening to it and already know all of that. But what I want to kind of get into is leaving Mississippi State and deciding to go into the culinary field. Walk me through that process of why you decided you wanted to do that, and then where you eventually went to school.
See, I started working at Bulldog Deli in Starkville after Hurricane Katrina. Needed some quick cash real quick, and just something to take my mind off everything.
Yep.
That was my first restaurant job. It was fun, making quick sandwiches for the masses. It was a busy place. It was a busy place.
Making lots of nachos for sorority chicks and rotel.
And baked potatoes.
Yeah. Okay, so that I didn't realize that was your first gig. So that was your kind of first entrance into the restaurant business.
Right.
So after that, were you kind of like, hey, I'm kind of digging this schedule, this vibe, and it's something I want to pursue. So what was the next step?
Well, going back even further, I always had a affinity for the old Japanese Iron Chef. So I think it was always in the back of my head. That's kind of what I wanted to maybe do one day. Yeah. And everything just at the deli kind of kicked that off. I was like, all right, I can do this potentially for a while.
And I wasn't aware of this, honestly, at the time. So you kind of always had an affinity for the business. And so you actually stepped foot into it. And so now you're like, okay, that I'm competent in here. I actually think I could probably do this. So what was the next step following that? What did you decide to go to school, and what made you decide to go there?
Well, so, I eventually transferred to Southern Miss and finished my business degree there, and taking classes in the day and working night shifts at restaurants at night.
Where were you working down there?
A couple places, and Confusion was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first gig there, man?
Cooking. Just straight into it.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so you finished your degree at Southern Miss. This is one of the things that I didn't realize. Finished your degree at Southern Miss. You ended up in New York, correct? Right.
Yeah. And I said, all right, I guess I want to really do this. And I applied to the CIA, or the Culinary Institute of America. Got accepted, and said, all right, I guess I'll move to New York for a little while.
Tell me what that was like.
It was different. It was fun. Loved it.
Yeah. Is it in Manhattan?
No, it's an hour and a half north by train.
Got it.
It's in Hyde Park in Poughkeepsie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Great little town. Or great town. It wasn't little. Poughkeepsie's not little, but it's fun.
What was it like walking into culinary school? Set the stage here. What was it like walking into culinary school in New York? We're from about as far south as you can get. And then now you're going to school up in New York. I imagine it's a pretty eye-opening experience. Walk me through what that was like arriving there.
Somewhat of a culture shock for sure. I think at the school, not too difficult to get by it, but I joined the program a little bit older.
Got it.
All my classmates were some were straight out of high school, 18, 19. So I was 25, I think, when I started.
So you were the old man in the class.
Right. Well, not the oldest, surprisingly, but I was one of them.
Got it.
It was a 2-year program. Learned a ton.
I've interviewed another chef who's the head food and beverage guy over at the IP. I think he actually went to CIA too. And it's interesting. I think I had a discussion with you long, long time ago where you described that the first like month to month and a half is just you with a chef's knife and a cutting board.
Yeah, just dicing potatoes and stuff, trying to get the cuts exactly right.
What was your favorite part of that program? Like what was the part where you're like, all right, I like this and I'm also really good at it?
Probably towards the end where we were working in the restaurants.
Okay, so y'all did like internships almost?
Well, no, the campus has 4 restaurants that are open to the public.
Awesome. I didn't know that. That's cool.
And at the end of your tenure there at the school, you do 2 restaurants. The first 2 weeks, you're the front of the house.
Okay.
And then the last 2 weeks, you're in the back of the house. So they had us, dressed up and serving tables. And then next they had us cooking the food.
That's an interesting, I like that concept because it gives you a vantage point from both sides.
Yeah, you definitely need to see both sides.
Absolutely. You can't just be in the back and be like, what the hell are these? Like, what's their problem out there? Like, you got to kind of, if you've done the whole thing, you can kind of understand the entire concept of running a place.
I did wait tables in Starkville for a little bit too. So I had a little bit.
Were you at the veranda?
No, I was at the grill, Cotton District Grill.
You're getting out of culinary school, graduate after 2 years. So you're around what, 27 years old at this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was your next step? Where'd you go to?
So me and my wife, Erin, we decided to move to New Orleans.
Okay.
And we met at Southern Miss, international business at Southern Miss. Yeah.
What was your language? Spanish?
We didn't learn any language, just how to do business in other countries.
Okay. So you and Erin met at Southern. So what was she with you while you were in culinary school?
No, she stayed down here.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Is she originally from Hattiesburg?
No, she's from the coast as well.
Whereabouts?
Her childhood, she moved around with her family in the oil business.
Okay. I get that. Yeah, you got people moving in and out, especially military stuff too down here.
Right. Same concept-ish.
Okay. All right. So while you were up there, she was down here still, and then you decide you're going to move to New Orleans, right? Because I imagine like easier to get work, major metro area, kind of close to home, and all the boxes are checked.
Well, we had talked about moving to and staying in New York. We were thinking about living in Hoboken or Jersey City or something like that, and I would just train right over to Manhattan for a job.
What made you not do that, man?
Circumstances. We just maybe we should just move back home for a little bit and just stay at home for a little bit, on the coast, somewhere on the Gulf Coast, close to family.
Yeah. And at this time, how old is your youngest sister at this time? She's probably in college.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's working on her nursing degree.
Yeah, and I'm thinking your parents are still
in Gulfport.
Still in Gulfport at the time. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. So you moved to New Orleans. What's the first gig you get?
It's tough. I kind of looked around at a couple places, but one of my buddies from culinary school got a job at Koshan. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe, they have any openings? He's like, yeah, come on in. So I joined him over there. His name's Jared Hyder. Cool dude. He's now the executive chef of Juniors on Harrison in New Orleans. But,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Koshan's a good spot, man.
Oh yeah. It was a great company to work for.
What all were you doing there?
So I started just prepping. Just cutting vegetables and learning everything, was there just doing that for a couple weeks. Then I got put on the line randomly one Friday night on a busy night because somebody didn't show up to work. And it was wild. I had no idea what I was doing.
Is that kind of how it works, man? Like, because it's a whole working in the restaurant business, especially a chef and in a kitchen, it's an entire culture in itself.
Yeah, it is.
And so, like, there's unspoken things, I imagine, that every kind of subculture and work has. Like, I know we have them at where we are, but what are some of the things, like the do's and don'ts, that you kind of had to figure out really, really quick when you were thrown into that?
It's kind of like there's a lot of confusion. You know, a new job, new layout. I guess the do's are kind of, ask questions so you get it right. And the don'ts are don't ask stupid questions.
Okay, so
It's kind of a very figure it out.
So you were kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit.
A little bit, but it was good for me.
Oh yeah, it always is. I mean, you always come out something like that a lot stronger than you went into it. So you were thrown on the line randomly, and then did you stay on there?
Oh yeah, I worked that hotline for a year or so. Then moved up to management eventually.
How long were you at Cochon?
3.5 probably.
Oh man, I didn't think it was that long.
Mm-hmm.
So you turned 30 at Cochon, basically.
Yeah. I guess
Okay.
so.
Okay. Seeing as how we both recently turned 40, so
Great.
So you lived in New Orleans for that period of time. Where'd you go after that?
So due to the cost of childcare in that city,
Yep.
which was tough. I mean, we did have a child while we were in New Orleans too. Kind of skipped over that.
Let's throw that in there.
Yeah. I was talking about childcare without talking about the child. Yeah, we had our son over in New Orleans at Oshner Baptist on January 15th, 2015. So
okay.
Yeah, and then when he got older, the cost of it was like
it's astronomical, man. I have a cousin who lives over there, and
to find a really good one. So
it's like another house payment basically.
So we started looking around, like where can we go? And her parents had a place, and they were living in Orange Beach.
Okay.
So we said, well, let's just move to that area. And a former Cochon chef, Bill Brion,
okay,
was the executive chef of Fisher's in Orange Beach.
I love that place, man. I loved it.
Yeah. So I went and interviewed with him and joined his crew. And then we moved to Orange Beach.
I'll tell you what, man, that place was the fine dining upstairs. It's closed now, isn't it?
It is. It's a different restaurant now.
Okay, so it's the property is still running, but it's under.
Sure, yeah. That beautiful property is still there, but it's a different ownership.
Dude, the whole downstairs with the dock system, and then the upstairs the fine dining. I mean, like it's a great spot for families. It's a lot of overhead, but that's a cool area. So you worked at Fisher's, and then when did you move over to Playa?
Let's see, I was at Fisher's for 2 years or more.
Okay. And
then they approached the company that I was working for. Approached me. Bill did. Hey, we're building a new restaurant down the street. This is going to be the theme. This is the food. This is what we want to do. Do you want to open it up for us and run it? It's like, sure. It's like I'm at that point in my career. I can do that.
William, okay, I want to talk about something that I've never really had a conversation with anyone about, and I've always been interested in. How do you come up with what is the most important thing when it comes to creating a menu? Is it theming about the entire theme of the restaurant? Is it what you can source at what price? Is it, what you think a demand might be to differentiate yourself from other restaurants around you? Like, how do you come up with that?
It's all those things.
So it's a combination of all of them.
Yeah, for especially for Playa, it was theming was a large part of it.
Like Miami in there, dude. It was South Beach. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It was very pretty.
Yeah.
So theming was like number one on those three things you just listed. We were heavy, kind of, Cuban influenced and Caribbean here and there, and other just Gulf of Mexico, other cuisines around that. But, as we got further into the concept, to bring up another one of the 3 points you just brought was, what does the customer actually want?
Yeah.
So the original concept was great, but then we kind of took a couple steps back. We didn't have a burger on the menu, and I feel like got to have a burger on the menu.
Yes, you have to. Not everybody wants seafood.
Yeah, at a vacation spot,
Yep.
Well, it wasn't a seafood heavy restaurant. We had a steak selection that fit within the themes, but people just we need a burger. So I was like, all right. So we threw on a burger, and then we did a couple other burgers like pineapple and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of fit that tropical Caribbean vibe. And then went even further. Like, okay, we got to have like a fried shrimp plate. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like how much do we want to give in to what we know is going to sell, but it doesn't necessarily fit what we want to do.
And what vacationers to that area really want.
Yeah, I mean, there are restaurants down there that are like all of what you're describing. Like everything's fried. You
got to hit that broad market. You got to appease a lot of people at one dinner, at one meal. Yeah.
So you're at Playa. You have the opportunity to kind of like build a menu. Did you build that menu there?
I helped.
You helped?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were part of the process of building a menu, and you kind of got to see like, all right, this is what it's like to open a restaurant from the ground up, which I imagine would be highly beneficial with what you're doing currently. So it kind of like showed you these are all the steps I got to take to actually, if I wanted to open up a spot. So how long were you at Playa and then before you left there?
See, I ran that restaurant for 3 summers, 3 seasons.
Okay.
It was a good 10 year. Done my job, and it was time for me to move on.
Yeah.
Then, while I was working there, we did buy a house in Fairhope, and I was commuting down there every day.
I didn't realize that, really.
Yeah, it was tough.
Dude, how long a drive is that? Like 45 minutes to an hour?
A little over an hour.
So you were doing almost 2.5 hours a day in the car?
Mm-hmm. And that old Sequoia.
You were still driving the Sequoia?
Yeah.
Dude, I bet you drove that thing till it blew up.
It was hanging on.
Well, that was a good year.
Yeah, that commute was crazy. It would take me over, like the big weekends, like Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend. It took me over 2 hours just to get down there.
I totally understand why you wanted to dip.
Yeah.
Are you still in the same house in Fairhope now?
Oh yeah, we love it.
All right, so you leave there, and what time frame is that whenever you left?
Oh my gosh, so that was 5 years ago.
Okay, so what's the game plan, man? Like, I remember at one time you were discussing, I asked you what you were going to do, and I think you said that you wanted to open up kind of like a butcher food court concept where the butcher would feed the meat for all the other restaurants in the food court.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't remember. There's so many ideas floating around.
This was probably really late at night.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I was like, man, that's a pretty good idea if you could find the right, spot to put it in. So what was your next move?
Going back, Erin and I had like basically a notebook with all these concepts and ideas we've been working on.
Okay,
maybe this sounds good. Maybe we could do that here. We could do this over here. Well, it was one I was still working down in Orange Beach at Playa. The building I'm in currently here in Fairhope came on the market for sale. So we're like, that kind of became the catalyst.
got it. It was location first.
Yeah, it was a really good deal, and we jumped on it immediately.
I mean, you're in the heart of that area, man.
Yeah, we couldn't pass it up.
No. For anyone who's listening, if you're within an hour of Fairhope, you need to go to Pearl Restaurant in Fairhope and have a meal at Will's restaurant, because I've been multiple times, and it's not just because I'm friends with him. It's the food there is exceptionally good. Service is great. The chef will come out and talk to you. It's awesome. So you buy the building. So concept wise, what was your way you wanted to kind of curate and design this space?
It was part of that notebook, one of the ideas, and just market research. We, pulled up demographics and that were all accessible to us through county and stuff.
Right.
And then we just looked at the surrounding market and realized there wasn't like just kind of a dedicated seafood restaurant. Nobody's really serving different types of oysters and such. And I always found that business idea intriguing.
Yeah, I like that concept, how you can do almost like a charcuterie of oysters from different locations.
Yeah. Not to say, but we just no one's really serving Gulf seafood, exclusively and with a large seafood heavy menu. For something that we live next to, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Where did the name Pearl come from?
It just from the oyster concept, and coincidentally it was my great grandmother's name. I
did not know that. That's awesome, man.
Well, my mom had to remind me. She's like, "Oh, that was my grandmother's name."
Oh, that's cool. So it's multiple. It takes on multiple stuff. So it's almost like in dedication to family and also the oyster concept.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah.
Listen, you want to go with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you decide to you buy the building. You can't pass it up. Kind of have a concept down. You've done some research about what you want to do. How does one in the restaurant business go about finding the locations of where to source your ingredients and your cooking supplies from?
Well, it was easy for me, surprisingly. All the purveyors I use in Orange Beach also run this area.
Got it.
So all the relationships I developed when I was working down there, I just carried over to here. It was kind of it's easy.
Yeah. So is this like a privately kind of regional seafood company? Are you using one of the big prime food delivery companies like Reinhardt, Cisco, US Foods, all that, or where does it come?
No, these are way smaller than those
like
companies.
Boutique.
Yeah,
got it.
A couple of them are, and a couple of them are larger.
Yeah,
I use Evans Meats. They're out of Birmingham. They always have a really nice oyster selection. Inland Seafood. They were out of New Orleans. They've moved to Atlanta officially. Well, for my territory now. Also a large seafood offering, oyster offering as well. And then I'm using here and there, like 3 times a week, a company that a guy I knew in New Orleans started called JV Foods. They're based out of Kenner now.
Okay.
They have like a really good like foraging program. I feel like they'll go to small farms and see what they've got.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they'll bring it into their warehouse and send out a chef's list 3 times a week, like with locally grown produce, herbs, all sorts of stuff. And they're going down to boat docks and getting fish from fishermen.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
How'd you find them?
So I knew the owner of the company when I was living in New Orleans. I would buy produce. He was a produce runner and worked for a company called Covey Rise, and then he left there and started his own business. And I've just known him for like 12 years now.
And so he started this up where he's basically doing, it's almost like that farm to table concept, but more regional.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it's great product, great selection.
Well, you're also supporting another local business too.
Yeah, which I like to do.
Oh, 100%.
And now we got a newer company here in town. They've been around for 2 years now, called Fairhope Fish House.
Okay.
And it's a 15-minute drive south of the restaurant, 10-minute drive. And they've got their own boats now, and they're going out and catching their own fish. So, and we're serving it here a lot. So it's like fish that was literally caught that morning, we're serving at night.
You can tell, I mean, dude, you can tell the difference with the quality of stuff that you guys are putting on plates over there compared to like, if it's frozen or if it's like, it's, and the attention to detail that I kind of noticed for the few times I've been in there, like you don't want y'all aren't cutting any corners when it comes to the quality of the food you put out. And right. I can tell that because I've eaten it. I spent a lot of time in Orange Beach every year because we have a place over there. The company does, and take the girls over there. And then, so I see the difference between someone who's doing what you're doing and someone who's just trying to, get as many people through the door and checks cashed as they can.
Yeah.
So what year was this that you opened up Pearl, and how long have you guys been in business?
So it'll be 4 years this July.
Okay. 4 years this July. So it's 2022. Yeah. So that was basically like almost kind of still in COVID a little bit.
A little bit, right at the tail end. It was weird.
Yeah, yeah. So what were you doing during COVID? What were y'all up to?
I was working at Playa.
Okay, that was during Playa.
Yeah, we shut down the dining room and we were doing, we kept the all the managers on and we were doing to-go food.
That was so crazy, dude.
Pivoting to try to keep any revenue coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We did have a privilege. The restaurant was on a boat dock and, people were still out on their boats enjoying the weather. So we were able to sell a lot of food that way. People would pull up their boat, order and grab it out.
That's yeah. You got to use what you got, man.
Yeah. It wasn't strong money, but the money was coming in.
Yeah. It was floating money is what it was. So with Pearl, it's a family-owned business. How many seats do you guys currently have right there?
We're tiny. We have 38.
Yeah, it's tight, but I tell you what, man, it's a good. It's almost like the location is just so good. Like I totally understand why you guys did what you did.
Yeah, it's it's tiny, but and the kitchen is like a closet, but it's a good first run for us. Hopefully in the future we can expand, but we've got it down really well. Like even though we have 38 seats, we can still on a Friday night do over 100 covers.
It's great, man. And then you have that bar. You have the bar too, and y'all's selections of booze is on point. And then like the cocktails that you guys make are really good too. So how do you go about staffing this place and keeping them? Because I don't really know this to be a fact, but I kind of hear it when I talk to other restaurateurs that like it's really, really hard to keep people. So like what is in your opinion the best way to maintain and retain employees?
That's a kind of a loaded question. We've had some of the same employees for years now.
I mean, you're obviously doing something. What I mean by that is like you're obviously doing something right if you can maintain the same employee base in a restaurant business. Either you're picking properly or you're taking care of them.
That and, the restaurant industry has had a history of chaos and management being wild and crazy. It has that personification or whatever, but we try to keep it very civil. We're very easygoing managers. We're here all the time. We're very hands-on, very understanding of people. We're also just there for our employees. They're pretty much family at this point.
Yep. The number one thing I think that sets a lot of restaurateurs apart was that first statement you said.
Yeah.
That you're there.
don't yell. Don't be like angry and yelling, but just more of a coach at times if something does go wrong. But our crew's great. They got it down now. They require little coaching these days. It's pretty wild.
Well, good for you, man. I know your wife's heavily involved too.
Oh yeah.
So from this last 30 minutes or so of conversation, you've always had a plan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're working in Playa, you're already coming up with concepts of opening up your own spot, and you execute that, right? So you are capable of expanding and doing things, but where do you think you see yourself in 5 years, man? I mean, that's I know it's a hard thing to ask, but I think that it would be really interesting to know.
It's a daily battle. Like, I want to, I don't know if we want to open up a new place, or do I want to just keep focusing on this and expand? I would like to expand this place one day, really.
Okay.
38 seats it's a great restaurant, but it is. Small. I feel like, if we could find, a different spot or whatever, I would love to explore.
You've been open for 4 years this summer, right? So, I mean, obviously the public around your restaurant are digging what you're doing.
Right.
So that must feel good to know that. And then your mom and dad, when did your mom and dad move over there? And what made them decide to go there?
I think dad always just wanted to retire in Fairhope.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
He grew up for a little bit around the Mobile area. So he was coming over here as a kid.
Yeah.
He knew of it, loved it.
It's a great area, man.
I think we were still in Orange Beach when they moved here. I don't remember the exact year.
I think it was like 10 years ago, right? I think I talked to him one time I was in there, and he said that I think they've been over there for 10 years.
It was probably about 8, I would say.
Okay. Well, I think I think you got a good thing going, man. Let people know, where is your restaurant located? What's the address, and what's your hours of operation? So if someone wants to come by, also, do y'all do reservations as well?
We don't. We are just like a first come, first serve kind of deal.
Got it.
First come, first serve, and we'll have a wait list. Has been a lot easier and less stressful for us. But
yeah, you're not having to manage all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Our address is 334 Fairhope Avenue, right on the main strip here in downtown.
What would you recommend? Like, let's say somebody is walking into your restaurant for the first time. What would you recommend them order? What are some of the dishes that are kind of hitting at your restaurant?
I mean, I recommend all the time, just get a glass of champagne or Prosecco or Cava and crush some oysters.
Okay.
That's good living right there.
That is good living. You ain't kidding. What's your best-selling dish?
Let's see. It's going to be our redfish on the half shell.
Okay.
Skin and scales on the bottom of the fish, and we roast it over charcoal. So it's got a light smoke to it too.
William, so where can people find you online? Where can people find Pearl online if they want to look at the menu or look at times of opening and that kind of thing?
So yeah, our website is pearlfairhope.com, and you can find any social media links or any other links on that website.
All right, William, thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate you being the 50th. It means a lot to me. I got to learn a lot about time in our lives where I didn't really know really much about what you were doing. And I'm real proud of what you're doing, and I hope to see you soon, man.
Thank you. Really enjoyed this.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for listening to Bottled Up. A big thank you to Will Sams for coming on the show and sharing his incredible journey. From delis to culinary school to building Pearl, one of Fairhope's favorite restaurants. We covered so much today: the power of hands-on experience, listening closely to your market, and why strong relationships with your team and local suppliers make all the difference. If you're anywhere near Fairhope, do yourself a favor and stop by Pearl. Grab a glass of champagne, some boutique oysters, say hello to Will and his team, and taste what passion on a plate really looks like. Until next time, keep supporting your local businesses, and thank you for being part of our 50th episode. We're truly grateful to have reached this milestone with you. We'll see you all on the next one. Cheers. Thanks for listening to the Bottled Up Podcast. Want us to deliver this show to your email inbox as they drop? Want to tell us about how you like the show? Or do you want to tell us about a Gulf Coast business or restaurant that you'd like for us to spotlight in any upcoming episodes? Email Ashton McEwen at abevinc.com. That's AMCKEOWN at ABEVINC.com. That's ABEVINC.com. Want to know more about Allen Beverages and how we work with our clients, partners, and vendors? Check out allenbeverages.com. This show was edited and produced by Johnny Gwynn and Deep Fried Studios.